Let's talk about future of Halo games and its SlipSpace engine. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I would like to talk about SlipSpace engine, which is really technology that powers Halo Infinite games and looks like the same game engine will power future Halo games. Now, obviously there's been a number of rumors that maybe 343 will move to Unreal Engine 5, but looks like that's really not going to be the case, at least not right now, right? Looks like they are still working on SlipSpace engine, and all these Unreal Engine 5 talks looks like they are more like people in the top echelon of the company, like MaDz stuff. They were just discussing such a possibility. I don't think anything has been done to do that, to actually move the development of Halo Infinite or future Halo games to like different game engine. There's no trace of any of the 343 Industries people using Unreal Engine, and we've got this particular tweet from Chester on Twitter. He's actually one of these very useful guys on Twitter that finds information here and there. And he found that according to Alex Coriel's LinkedIn page, they are still using SlipSpace engine working on Halo games. So Alex started working for 343 Industries around when is it? I think it's somewhere down here, experience. So there we go. He started working for 343 Industries around September of last year, so 5 months ago, and he's a narrative lighting artist, right? So he deals with lighting part of technology, and basically he says here real-time lighting for narrative and cinematics utilizing 343 properties SlipSpace engine. So looks like there's no Unreal Engine 5, no other Unreal Engine mention or any other game engine, and all these rumors, like I said before, might have more to do with the fact that the top management of 343 at some point were just basically discussing such a possibility, right? It might be that after the whole Halo Infinite fiasco with new content and stuff, because there were a lot of developers basically saying that they were not happy with the tools and they were not happy with the fact that bringing new people into the project meant that they had to be taught all these new tools on the SlipSpace engine, right? And obviously bringing people like with our overall knowledge of Unreal is actually, it would speed things up, right? I guess so. From tools perspective, that's fine, but I don't necessarily think that solves all the problems, because I mean, I'm not a developer. I don't really know how long does it take to learn like the SlipSpace engines tools. But like I guess it all depends on the type of work you do, because if you are an artist and you are working on textures, like most of the work you do you don't do in the engine anyway. There's like all kinds of different third-party programs that process all these kind of graphics, and then you import that into the game engine, right? So I'm not sure where the problem with these tools is, right? I understand that like some level of knowledge is required to work with 343 game engine, but I'm not sure how big of a problem it is really. And I think the bigger problem 343, and I think that Microsoft globally has, or maybe just 343, I'm not sure, it might be a local issue, because I think the state, the United States state where that company is located in, it's somewhere around Seattle, I think. I'm not sure what sort of state is it in States and USA. they've got like this local, I think, law requiring to hire somebody permanently after like second temporary contract, and they've been hiring a lot of temp employees, and they had to let these people go because after second contract, second extension, they would have to offer them a permanent job. So the problem is not necessarily with the fact that the learning curve is always there, but do you think that the fact that they would move to like different engine would actually resolve the issue? Because you've got like people working, knowing that the whole project, working on the project, creating all these different textures or models or the world or whatever, right? And then you have to let them go and hire somebody else to actually continue the same job, right? So in my eyes, no matter whether they would work on Unreal Engine 5 or SlipSpace engine, that new person would have to, learn all the new stuff anyway. Like they would have to, kind of get into the job, and that takes time. So I think the bigger problem here is not necessarily the technology per se. I mean, you can learn all the technology out there, right? I think the problem is that once they'll teach these people how to use these tools, they let them go. So I think it's more HR problem, for 343 than anything else, in my opinion. Like I'm not a developer. I don't work for 343. I don't know how these tools look like, how difficult they are to use. And I don't really know their HR and hiring policies. So it's really difficult to judge them and to discuss. But either way, it looks like future Halo games will still run on a SlipSpace engine, and I don't think they are planning to move to Unreal, because otherwise, because the rumors suggested that they did that already, right? And some part of the Halo game is running on Unreal Engine already. I'm not even sure if it's possible to kind of, I guess, glue two games running on different engine. That might be actually difficult, because I can't imagine them moving the whole Red game, like Halo Infinite, to a different game engine. That would be a lot of work, and probably wasted work. So maybe all this effort that they would have to put into like importing and like moving the whole game into a new engine, maybe just put all that effort into fixing whatever is wrong with SlipSpace engine. It's not. It's if there's actually a problem there, because we don't know. We all just basing all these different points on rumors, right? Although there were some ex 343 employees saying that the tools were not that great and stuff. So listen, at the end of the day, Microsoft has a lot of resources. Xbox has got a lot of resources now. Xbox game studios as a whole organization has a lot of resources. I mean, I'm not working for Microsoft. I don't know what their plans are, but maybe just they've got like these different studios, and they've got these game engine programmers. They've got Coalition that they've done a tremendous job with optimizing Unreal Engine 5. They've got id Software with their fantastic id engine, right? They've got Bethesda, so they've got their own game engine as well. So they've got a lot of talent, and there's probably some other game engine developers there as well, of course. And I don't know, figure out what's wrong with, try to fix like these share the technology, share the knowledge. I think that's what the future of Xbox game studios should be. It's look at what's going on with PlayStation. Like they've got their own like in-house engines as well, and they share technology. Like they've got this special team to work with third-party developers to kind of help them optimize for the PlayStation consoles and stuff. Xbox has such a team as well. So like, listen, I'm not really trying even to say what Microsoft should do, right? It just makes, like, every single time I see somebody saying, oh, let's just move the whole bloody game to Unreal, it's not that easy, because like there's a lot of content created for Halo Infinite already. So the effort that had to be put into basically moving all this stuff, all these assets and every optimizations and everything to Unreal Engine 5, and to make sure that everything runs smoothly on all these platforms that these games run right now. And we're talking about Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S and X PC. You know what I'm saying here? This is not something you can do. This is not something that could be done overnight. Like, it's like creating almost like a new game from scratch. I know you've got all these assets and everything, but scripting is different. Game code is different. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what game engine, what language SlipSpace is using. You know, hopefully C++, so that shouldn't be really a problem. But you know, like, there's a lot of stuff that is different about these game engines, and so if you move stuff, you know, things that did work on in their previous engine will not necessarily work on Unreal Engine. They will have to create some, you know, a big part of, you know, of the engine, like, to fit the Halo games. And even with SlipSpace engine, like, people say, oh, you know, just move it to a different game engine. Not sure if you know, even SlipSpace engine is using still a lot of stuff from the previous Halo game engines, because it's just easier to, like, I mean, yes, you can create everything from scratch, but that's a lot of work, and you know, a lot of work don't need to be done anyway. So people say, oh, you know, Halo Infinite feels like a really good Halo game. Yes, because some parts of SlipSpace engine actually did inherit, you know, code from the older game engines as well. So these parts of the game engine are, you know, almost similar, the same, changed a little bit here and there to fit the new platform, but you know. So yeah, I think the core of the SlipSpace engine is still really the similar to what have been used before. So it's not very easy to like move a game to like a totally new game engine, right? Even like Mass Effect Anniversary Edition, right? That game was made on Unreal Engine 3, and developers initially thought about moving it to Unreal Engine 4 because, hey, there's more effects, better graphics, and that kind of stuff, right? But they let it go. They decided to stick to Unreal Engine 3 because they said that stuff that works well with Unreal Engine 3 doesn't necessarily work well with Unreal Engine 4. And we're talking about just iteration of the same engine. So now imagine what would happen if you just moved a game from SlipSpace engine to a totally different Unreal Engine 4. And like Unreal Engine 5 in this particular case, right? Just moving game from Unreal Engine 3 to Unreal Engine 4 would cause a lot of extra work, and they didn't really want to do it. So now imagine what sort of effort 343 would have to put to move the whole Halo Infinite into Unreal Engine 5. I think that it's not worth it, especially that they don't really have a full control over the game engine. They would not have a full control. And, you know, like, hey, I think it's, in my opinion, it's worth putting extra work in your own game engine if you've got all these resources that Microsoft has, right? They've got talent, they've got money. Well, I wanted to say they've got time, but not really, right? They have to, you know, start pushing the content, and that's another thing. You know, they finally got to a point where Halo Infinite is actually a decent game. content-wise as well, and they need to push and start delivering that content. So now try to move everything to Unreal Engine 5 when everything just falls apart. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that yes, these discussions probably did happen in the past about moving Halo Infinite to Unreal Engine 5 or 4 before, but I don't think that's really going to happen, and it looks like they just keep working on SlipSpace engine, and if anything, yes, it may take some time to fix all the issues with the game engine. Like, they still haven't delivered ray tracing in the game engine and that kind of stuff. Couple of months ago, I remember the chief of that, the head of the SlipSpace engine project was let go as well. So clearly there were some issues there, right? But I don't think they will move that game to Unreal Engine 5. Maybe for the future project, maybe for the Halo 6 or whatever, right? But it looks like Halo Infinite was created with the idea of being this base for the future content, like story expansions and that kind of stuff. I mean, so the question is, are they planning to continue to go this way still, or do they want a proper cutoff from these games and just move on with a new game, in few years' time? We don't know. I mean, let me know in the comment section if you actually heard anything about it. I would be interested to know more about it, because Jason Staten, I think his name is, after he took over the project, obviously he had to do a lot of moving and shifting things around when it comes to this project, and it's a massive job. But I think they will stick to SlipSpace engine, because it just from my perspective, obviously I don't know everything about their game development processes and stuff, but it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make much sense. Too much effort, in my opinion, to actually move everything, shift everything to a totally new game engine. Because we're not talking about small indie titles project. We're talking about huge game that offers a single player, multiplayer, co-op experience, right? It's just now Forge is based on SlipSpace engine as well. So now move that to it's too many moving parts to actually move to one. It's like moving number of different games to a totally new project, to a totally new engine. Too much work, in my opinion. But hey, that's just my opinion, right? And obviously looks like Chester over here on Twitter obviously suggests, or should I say Alex here on LinkedIn suggests that, yeah, 343 will stick to SlipSpace engine, or at least they are still using it, I guess, right? So anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for support. I really appreciate all support. And guys, I will see you all in the next one. Take care.